Welcome back, folks. Nashtaters here. So, before we actually start off the video on the show and tell on my main account, I just want to clear out some dirty laundry. The last video I made, I think people got the wrong idea. Maybe people didn't. Okay, let's just clear this up. I don't think people got the wrong idea of the fact that I made that video. But if you go and read this is literally word for word. In celebration of the 4th anniversary of the FFBE series, perform A, 10, X, summon, and B guaranteed. Where do you see the words paid visitors? Where do you see the word free? Right? It just says perform A, 10X summon. So, obviously there's 1 out of 3 possibilities, because there's only 3 ways to summon in this game. Unless someone could correct me on that one. 1, you spend no gems to do a 10x free summons. 2, you use 2,000 gems to do 10x summons. Or 3, you use 2,000 paid gems to do a 10x summon. So there's only 3 ways. Now clearly they didn't put the word free, and clearly they didn't put the word paid. So one can assume out of those 3 ways, perform a 10x summon. So I don't know, you tell me how many ways to really interpret this. So it makes me think of several things. 1, I'm not sure who they're targeting with this banner, right? By using these words. Their marketing team needs to be questioned. Or maybe their bosses told them, hey, you guys need to write this. So if they're trying to alienate groups of people playing this game, well, they have already done that. Because clearly we all know now for a fact that it is indeed paid. Because, well, it says paid. So here it is, paid. And now I do have paid gems on this account, but because I'm playing on emulator, it doesn't show that. I play normally on iOS, so I do have paid, but I'm really contemplating of spending money on this to support this. I honestly, at this point, I'm a little disappointed because, you know, gummy rhymes with the word scummy. And the reason I say that is because I've been playing games made by that company for a very long time now. And I know they do some really scummy tactics. And this, in my opinion, is one of them. When you purposely write things to advertise something and you're not clear about it, because the final product that comes out is not what you originally thought, right? That's a scummy tactics by any standards of any marketing. So if they were targeting paid players anyways, then all they had to do is write paid, or not advertise this at all and simply just have this pop up this day. And it wouldn't affect anything, because as a player, let's say as a regular free-to-play player, they log on, they see this, it's like, oh, cool, and then they see the play, they're like, oh, great, and they, you know, right away don't think about it. But because they actually advertised it in their notice board, they were clearly trying to reach out to the masses about this. Now, if their other strategy was to say, hey, one time only, now is your chance. If you're thinking about spending money, now is your best time spent because you're guaranteed 4 units. And then put on the bottom, pay gems only, right? Then that would make perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. Because their goal was to try to get the free-to-play players to drop, you know, what, 20, 40 bucks to get this? And they might think this is totally worth it. But if their entire intention was to really let the paid players have even more a gap between them and, you know, non-paying players, it doesn't make any difference if you advertise it or not. Because paid players are going to spend the money on this anyways, regardless of advertising. So, first of all, don't get me wrong, I'm not upset about this. I just didn't want people to think that I was making clickbait bullshit videos, you know, to get views. Because clearly the video I made had, a lot of views by my standards. And so I didn't want people to feel like I was deceiving them. Because I went back and watched that video and I realized I didn't even say, I even actually said I don't think it's going to be free because it doesn't say free on it. Right? But it also doesn't say pay gems, right? If they would have simply added the word paid, it would have cleared so much up. Like cleared so many things up. And now this forced people to kind of speculate whether it's going to be free or not. And a lot of people has also pointed out that on the Japanese server, when this banner was released, it was paid. But not everybody cares what happened on the Japanese server. And also, the global server has already been established that is, moving away from what the Japanese server has been doing, right? They released an exclusive unit for global. So you don't have to be a genius to figure out that we're no longer copying the Japanese server. Maybe it's still on certain content, but not everything is streamlined like the Japanese server. I hate it when companies do this shit, man, because for one, it's like, are they trying to divide players? Are they trying to divide the community? Because if that was their goal, they're doing a pretty damn good job on it. And the second thing I'm irritated is that Square don't have that label on them about being a scummy company. They've always been kind of the company that people looked up to, especially in Japan, I would assume, right? They release big title games, they take their time releasing it, they spend big budgets on their games, they have nice folks in terms of popularity doing their games, like producers, music, artists. And to me, how they could let this slide through. But I guess they kind of knew when they teamed up with a company like Gummy, right? And end of the day, it is what it is. And I think we can safely move on. And I think we need to learn and take something away from this little fiasco. And I think the best way to approach this is that when you do look at the news, either my videos or other content creators' videos, just walk away with a feeling that, hey, maybe not everything is the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of take it as what it is, entertainment at the end of the day. And if it's something you feel like is important enough to care about, then care about it. If it's not, don't even think about it. Because at the end of the day, all you're going to do is set yourself up for disappointment if it didn't live up to your expectations. But without further ado, let's start the video on this account's show and tell. So this is Nashtaters, my main account. Like I said, I spent a little bit of money here and there. Nothing too exciting. But I feel like this account isn't superiorly ahead of the free-to-play account. I think it's just because I tend to concentrate more on specific things on this account. First and foremost, definitely one of my favorite units of all time, especially when I was playing Final Fantasy Tactics. This is my 99 Orlando. As you can see, I have completely maxed him out. 100% maxed. By the way, this took me, I think, a month and a half to do. And this is no easy task. This is very grueling to level up all 3 jobs, by the way. Everything's maxed out here. My build is, I don't have him on Thunder God's support skill, because I want him to be kind of a hybrid in my arena team. And he clears all PvE content with no issues. So I don't have him as a full attacker. I kind of have him as a sort of a hybrid build. My Mont is almost 100% complete. Because he shares the same night job as Orlando, I decided to give the pink spheres to my Orlando first. But other than that, he's pretty much almost done as well. I have him as a tank. So he's got pretty reasonable HP, and I don't have all of his ability maxed out either, but at the same time, you don't really need to. You just kind of play with the ones you want to play with, right? There's no reason to unlock certain things if you're never going to use him for that specific purpose. And later on, when you're like at a comfort zone where you have so many extra gold and extra JP and things like that, then you can go back and fill out the gaps. My next character is Ramza. Unfortunately, I did not finish him. I'm 120 shards short, but I will finish him if they bring back the reruns. Of course, clearly I cannot work on the jobs, but my goal is to get 210 of these bad boys, and so by the time I do him, he can just go straight to 99 with all jobs maxed. Currently, I'm using him as a spell blader for arena purposes, so he can do a little bit more damage and do a little bit more heals. His faith is 86, so I'm comfortable with that. My Mandiana is almost done. I'm working really hard to get her to be finished. I'm buying up the shards in the shops. Pretty much anytime I see the shards, I just buy it. Because I want her to be the second UR I completely max out. Again, I have enough to max job level. Actually, I have enough material to max one job as of now. But I'll work on that when I'm getting really, really close to the Limit Break 5. She did die one time in one of my runs, so she dropped to 96 Bravery. But other than that, she should be pretty solidly built. Skill-wise, I got the ones that I needed to max out. I maxed those out. Don't need to really show every detail of those things. Gafgarion, I really enjoyed this character. Definitely missing. This is, I think, the biggest hurdle in the game. Is this? This is by far the biggest hurdle over anything else in the game. You know, even the rainbow spheres are not that big of an issue. Fell Knight finished. Getting close to finishing this. And then slowly work on the monk. For some reason, this specific thing is not dropping at all. I've been farming this for an entire week. Hasn't dropped. But next week, we're actually in a couple of days, we are going to get the double X drop on materials. I'm definitely going to try to finish him up. At least for jobs, right? I mean, this is going to be, like I said, going to be a little while before I get 3. But new month means I get new rainbow shards. So I think he's really strong. I think he is himself a UR unit maxed under another MR body. Yerma, some people are really big haters on her. I don't know why, but not only is she sexy looking, she's also hits like a ton. She is a little bit limited, sort of limited on her movements, but she definitely is my favorite unit in this game besides Thunder God, of course. So again, cannot really work on her job until I get her finished. But yeah, I really love this unit. I really love her. I think she's so cool, you know, running around with that big axe. Tola, again, I talked about in my other video where I didn't buy the final job spheres. So unfortunately, I won't be able to finish her. But if they do bring back the collaboration, I will definitely finish her because I really like this staff. It's pretty sexy. I like it. I just like to have anything that grants me abilities on the weapons. I love them. I love status effects. I think they're awesome. Of course, my main man, Zazan, on this account, also pretty much done. You know, pretty close to being finished. And I have him fully maxed out in Faith and Bravery. Sorry. And the same thing, I don't think I'm going to do this just yet. But you do need to do this if you decide to use him to do this skill. Steal time. Because this is kind of crucial when you need to do this against bosses because you really want to cut your time. And a lot of you probably already experienced this during the last raid. And because I already have Yerma, where is she at? Because I already have Yerma and she's also a thief, she can already have the ability to do that. I just need to unlock it. Exactly, actually I can unlock it right now. Just gonna unlock it right now. Bam, you witnessed it. Yeah, so she's gonna be super good. She was super good in the chocolate flan raid, by the way. Alright, next unit, Grace, because I do not own an Ayaka. So I went ahead and used my rainbows to fully awaken her and slowly work on her, but she clearly almost at 79. I really enjoyed this staff. Disable, in my opinion, is a super powerful skill, debuff skill, and this one also gives you tons of crit. So I think this is also a really good staff. Clearly, it's really easy to work on this as soon as I can limit break her some more. Fully Faith, fully Bravery. Etri, I don't really work on her. I just did this so I can get her Trustmaster. Her Trustmaster actually is pretty solid. Crit and Agi. I mean, that's pretty solid. So now this unit I am going to review this week. I really love Phoebe. I love the fact that she is the model for Time Mage as her main look, right? Because until they release skins or whatever to change our units, this, in my opinion, is the true definition of a Time Mage. Because that's what Time Mages are designed to look like in Final Fantasy Tactics. I don't really work on her in terms of anything else besides just pretty much spamming haste. But as soon as I'm pretty much almost done with her, I'm gonna go ahead and start like fully finishing her out, decking her out. Also, she has 5 agi on her TMR, which is pretty solid. Any TMR you get agi, anything that you get agi on, it's pretty solid, because agi is probably one of the most important attribute in this game. I actually just did this because I had tons of her shards, so I just limit break her to 70. As you can see, I'm not building her by any means right now, but I did showcase her in one of my arena videos, and she's no slouch, right? Don't sleep on any units in this game. I don't know why people do that. Like, I know people throw a lot of hate, a lot of shade against non-UR units, saying, oh, they're just garbage, they're just trash, until somebody proves otherwise. And I think there's tons of proof already on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Gilgamesh is doing a killer job doing that. So whatever, man. You know, whatever, dude. People play the game the way they want to play it, and it's all good in the hood. Shadow Lynx, of course, I already talked about her. Super solid unit, but I'm not really working on her, even though I love ninjas. You know, over time I'll get her done. Badim, Batum, Dim Sum, he's pretty good too, but again, not part of the first team that I'm rolling with. Ryu, not part of the first team. Stern was actually the first UR I ever pulled on this account. Clearly my favorite at the time, but since then I put him in the back seat because of the Final Fantasy Tactics banner. Alright, the next unit I have clearly is Miranda. She is the next unit I'm going to be building up. Working pretty hard to try to get all of her shards. All the next rainbow rocks will go to her for sure. Obviously, I want to finish her off completely as soon as I getting close to kind of develop her more. Bina, I'm not really worried too much about her at this point. I pretty much just use her to boost up my bravery. I do want to build her Ramada eventually. I just find her to be kind of cool, and then of course all the Trust Masters from the MRs all have some sort of debuff abilities. And sleep, I'm a big fan of sleep. Of course, Zeta is considered to have one of the best TMRs of that 7 agi. I mean, it's 14 accuracy, 7 agi, and a skill to boot. I mean, no arguing against that. So just kind of working on it slowly. She actually can be level 79, but again, I'm delegating the rocks to Miranda first. Like I said, a lot of people don't like her for some reason. I really like him. I think he's badass. He can take a hit and he can deal a lot of damage out. So I don't see anything wrong with that. Murmur is also really solid, but I already have Mediana, and I was hoping to get Solir, but I don't have Solir on this account either. But I think I'm going to work on her if I don't get Solir anytime soon, because she is really, really good. I think her biggest flaw is just the fact that she's not that fast. And I think that's the biggest drawback on her, because of the fact that she's an SR. I think that was the reason they kind of held some of her speed back to kind of quote-unquote balance it out. But she does really good damage. She's part of the she's part of the Trinity, Sister Trinity. So she has a lot of resistances. Gilgamesh, of course, is the big boy that is highly recommended to build, but limited unit in terms of, actually, excuse me, premium unit. So hard to build him unless you spend a lot of money. Eileen, big advocate for her. She's really powerful. A little bit slow, lower movement, but with good support, she can tear things up. I think that's all the ones I'm going to highlight, because the rest are just a lot of MRs and SRs. A lot of them I think they're really solid, but you know, I'm not working on it because there's just too many units to work on at one time. My first squad is going to be these guys right here, pretty much. These 7, and plus the support, so like around 8 units. And then the next wave is going to be, of course, Miranda, Shadow Lynx, for sure Phoebe, and then another support unit in Naya probably. Ziza, Murmur, you know. So, like I said, at the end of the day, I think it's very important that you kind of work on the jobs. If you don't max them, you're not maxing out the full potential on that unit. And since these are all farmable, it just takes time, right? And then of course you need to work on some of your equipment and whatnot. So let's go ahead and quickly talk about vision cards. I think I have mostly the same stuff that everybody has at this point. You know, you level up the ones you want to level up. And you can see I sporadically level a few things here and there. And I don't think that's a big deal. I know some people think, oh my god, big mistake. Whatever, man. Dude, whatever, man. Anyways, Vow Love, good card. Don't sleep on this card. I talked about this card, Leona. Super good card. Look at that, 15-15. I mean, that's really solid for your tanks. And this card I think is really good if you need crit up. I mean, boost attack for your whole party. I mean, you have to be pretty dumb to argue against the usefulness of that. Trousseau, of course, really overpowered card in terms of for your magic attackers. Unfortunately, I didn't get an extra copy of this, but it is what it is, man. I'm not a whale, so I'm not overthinking it. I think this card is pretty good too. Yeah, talk about how you have lose in spirit, but you have agi up and slash attack. I mean, really good synergy for your evasion. And then I pulled this Shiva, great for evasion. And that's pretty much it. Those are the only highlights. I think I do have this, Frederica's Dream, without Frederica or Lucia. So, you know, time will tell if that's going to be useful for me. This is pretty good for if you want to raise your whole team on HP. So not too many highlights. I don't level up too many cards for this account because I only use a few cards for tanks, for attacks, and magic. That's it. Probably need to work on those a little bit more though. Espers, as you can see, it's going to be the same thing. Shiva, Golem, love Behemoth. I stopped working on Behemoth because pretty much I already have enough SP to do the ones I want to do. Attack, slash attack, accuracy, and evasion. So pretty much this one's going to be for my melee units and slash attackers. I think you really want to kind of use the other stuff in case you're encountering something specific, right? And there's nothing specific I need to deal with at this moment. You know, in arena, unless I'm really targeting Ramses or light units, I can use these, but I'm not. So really solid. I think I'm done working on him. So right now I'm already moving forward on the Chocobo expeditions, and right now I'm working on Ice. So I'm working on Shiva. But if you don't have Behemoth, which is easy to get, then I would suggest, like I said in all my videos, work on the Iron Giant, because these two are basically like twins, except they're just opposite elements. So, and this one's pretty good too, actually. If you take a look at the Esper board, he's really good for attack. Look at all these attack, pierce attack. So it's really good. And then he also has Man Eater. So this, don't sleep on this thing. This thing is actually really good for PvP because of the Man Eater. So yeah, really good card. Really good. Really good Esper. Again, you know, people don't look at these specific things, like, you know, these guys as big timers, right? People always look at this and you know, whatever, Odin, all that stuff. But these units have really useful, like this is the magic Esper. Magic attack, magic damage. Dude, solid, man. TP. This is all the stuff you need. Man Eater. This is all the stuff you need to build solid units. Don't sleep on these Espers. It doesn't make sense just to be looking at these quote-unquote big boys, big brains. You know what I'm saying? This is like your... I can't think of an example. I was going to use a car example, but yeah, I can't think of one. That's like the Subaru. That's like the Subaru of cars. Like, people who truly understand cars and know cars know that Subaru is one of the best brands you can buy for performance. If you argue with me, then you don't know anything about cars. So anyway, this is like the Subaru of the Esper world. People will be like, it's a Subaru, right? But it's actually the boss in terms of specific needs you can build them with. Equipment wise, I do have some stuff that are decent. I did get, I think, 2 copies of Alexandrite Ring. I have enough to make 2 Golden Axe +5s, 2 Nagrocks +5s. I don't have enough to make Golden Blade +5. But I think I have enough to make Sleep Blade, Sage Hat. I'm just too lazy, to be honest, to be working on some of this stuff. But yeah, those are the highlights. Like, I think even Golden Armor. Let's see if I have Golden Armor. I know I have Golden Armor, but I don't have a lot. Yeah, I got really lazy on that. See, look, this is another golden coffee. I already have like 1.5 5-star. And I didn't get all the platinum rods. Enough to make Wrath Gathy. I can make one more. I was told Golden Helm is terrible, so I ignored it. Look, I have so many Ragnarok recipes. I have so many Sleep Blades. I definitely want to make some Sleep Blades for sure. Enough to do smart codes, and I do a lot of farming. I love farming in games in general because it kind of like makes me feel. It makes me feel like I can escape all the reality, all the bullshit in the real world. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just too much bullshit out in the real world sometimes. And sometimes farming, just have some music, some Final Fantasy music, Chrono Trigger music, and just farm, man. Just kind of like, you know, it's my time to relax. So yeah, overall, that's my progress. Like I said, I only have a few hundred paid gems right now. I usually just kind of do the daily purchases. Unfortunately, I don't have her, but if I did, you know, I'd definitely probably go all the way because this would be like, what, $5? Totally worth it for me. You know, like I say, people can easily get the Rainbow Spheres quite a bit now. So as always, please support me by subscribing. Let's get to that 250. And hit that like button if you do like my content. And just bear in mind, man, I'm one person. I like to say what's on my mind. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm not here to please everyone because I know I can't. But if you want to support me, cool. If you don't want to support me, that's alright too. You know, it is life, right? I can't get 7 billion people to subscribe to me. If they did, I'd be like the richest dude alive. But anyways, I really want to thank everybody for all the support though, for sure. And I'm having a lot of fun doing this. And even when I was at work and I was showing people some of my videos, and people are just like kind of surprised at the quality I'm able to put out. And they're like, wow, that's some good quality stuff, good quality videos and whatever. So it is what it is, man. I'm having a lot of fun doing it, and I think at the end of the day, that's all that matters. But as always, take care of yourself and your loved ones. Nashtaters out.